Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a collective tarot read for anyone that needs to hear it. And I hope everyone's having a good day or night wherever they are on this planet Earth of ours. Let's get right into this clear, honest, whole message. I channeled a little bit before this reading, and a big part of this message is definitely going to have to do with a level of arrogant people that you've probably dealt with. And it's more or less people trying to act like they are in a position that you're in, but haven't really had the guts to move how you move. They want to talk all the talk that you have talked, but they can't walk your walk, sort of simple explanation here. With the Devil and the Eight of Cups, this is very symbolic for a lot of devil-like energies. Do not necessarily want to move on from how you are doing things. It's I don't want to say this, but it does feel like there is an energy of copying somebody here, like someone's copying you, and that's where the Eight of Cups kind of comes in reverse with the Devil. It's like they can't get away with how they do something, so they try to do it in a different way that not necessarily like works for them, because they're trying to copy someone else, i.e. you. They're trying to copy you and not do it in an authentic way that's true for them and true for like their well-being. And I do want to mention the cards that I did see come out when I was channeling this message before, like actually like hitting record, because I was also doing other things, so I like cleaned up those cards. But what made me feel called to do this reading, um, which I'm doing it actually at night instead of like during the day, which is usually when I film these readings, um, there's a huge energy of, it was a King of Wands reversed with Five of Swords and Knight of Swords, both like sideways. And that gave me the idea of someone's being very, I want to use this word lightly, but someone's being very abusive with the power that they know that they hold. And it's not necessarily abusing like in a sense of abusing their power towards other people. It's almost like towards themselves. It's why the devil's kind of out here being like, hey, they're not being honest with themselves, and it's hurting them rather than helping them, thinking that they have the power to pursue these things, when in reality they're just trying to copy off of somebody. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be you. It's like they could just see things and try to copy off those people, and they could turn around and say, oh, you're trying to copy me, type of a thing, when in reality you're genuinely interested about something to actually go forward and explore it. The Fool card being out here is like, I'm even hearing the word, someone has you played for a fool, because they think that all you do is copy them, when actually, like, when you see people do things that you're like, that looks interesting, you go and do the research. You open that door of like, what do I need to do? What does this entail? Is this something I actually want to get into? Like, you open this door. That's what the Fool's really representing, is like, you open the door, you look around, and someone is out here keeping this door closed because they're like, well, I just want all the benefits from it. I'm gonna keep that out here. They're like, I just want to reap all the benefits of getting into something instead of like actually pursuing it in a way that's meaningful to them. Ten of Wands, the literal representation sometimes of like responsibility, like doing the work. If you want to get into something and it's gonna cost, like, hey, I gotta take all of these 10 wands and like pick up all of this work and put it down at some point and finish that work, because the whole point of Ten of Wands is you're going to put them down at some point. Someone keeps picking up work, picking up work, picking up work, to where they're constantly following in these paths that make them have to keep carrying this weight, keep carrying this load of work and responsibility. And it's really weird how it's like showing double meaning here, because like the devil with the Eight of Cups is like, you have broken past a lot of things that don't serve you, in the easiest, plainest way I can explain it. you have broken free out of these things that don't serve you. And I feel like you see that. You see how free you are in this aspect. And it's almost like if you just wanted confirmation of like, not necessarily someone doing worse than you, but you're like wondering why are they acting that way, what's up with them, it's because they're trying to, I want to say, copy you or copy things that they see and want a quick gratification or quick success, like they want to make money overnight type of a thing. And it's not working. Like it's not going to be something that ever works for them because they're all stuck in their head, not actually really understanding what they need to learn inside their head. They're just like ignoring all of the things that are coming up in their mind and saying, oh, I don't need to worry about this, I don't need to work on that. And on this other meaning for you, this is you genuinely showing that you're working on something here. You've been working on something for a while. You are an expert on this hermit journey of, okay, yes, I go up this mountain of thoughts in my mind to really look closely at them and to think on things and to think things through and think about, okay, if I'm going to carry this weight, how will I like take care of these responsibilities? How would I do that, this and the other? And someone is just wanting quick gratification. They don't even want to go on this hermit journey because they feel like they're better than it. That's such a weird like energy I'm getting here, but that's why I felt like I needed to read cards, because I was even asking my spirit team like, hey, is there a message for the collective? And I got a yes, but it was the cards that came out that was the King of Wands, Five of Swords, and Knight of Wands kind of sideways, that then I saw on the bottom of the deck was a yes card, which it was the Magician, because the Magician or the Sun is a yes and the Fool or the Moon is usually a no. And when I ask specifically, sometimes I'll see other cards that I'm like, okay, that's indicating a yes, but I always like to be like extra sure, so I try to make sure I look for those cards. The Magician, Sun for yes, Fool and the Moon for no. You can use that if you want. Some people just do one set of those. I like to use two, so I can give my spirit team like a little more like um ease when it comes to like putting these cards out, because I have a lot of different tarot decks, and I know if you really work with a tarot deck, like you can make that respond a lot better than just like all the other ones. So anyway, aside from that, this is so key to your growth and how you've been able to genuinely work yourself out of this survival mode. Someone's constantly stuck in a survival mode thinking that that is the way things are and that's what's normal. And I feel like what's happening here, what's happening here is they're not going to grow in the direction that you're growing. You're moving away from not only just like things that don't serve you, but it's like you didn't even expect to be where you're at right now and be okay with like all the things that have basically quote unquote manifested in your life. And I feel like you've seen your manifestations come in certain ways. And I want to say in like little, very like, oh yes, this is a confirmation that things are coming in. Essentially like the step one in the step 100 manifestation that you've kind of created, in a very layman's terms way of putting it. Seven of Swords, Three of Wands, Seven of Cups, 373 or 737 if you've been seeing those cards. Or wait, oh no, this is Six of Cups, my bad. But I feel like 737 could resonate, or just the fact that any of these numbers. We do have 6, 7, and 8 with the 8 of Cups, 7 of Swords, and 6 of Cups here. You've been able to move on and move forward, build this better version of yourself. And I feel like you reminisce on the past in the sense of like, yeah, you know, I wish I could have done that, I wish I could have done this, but you are proud. Something about this is you're proud of yourself on this. And I feel like the fact that it's showing this other kind of energy here, staying with these sort of toxic mindsets and mentalities, they aren't able to move forward. Like, you've built this bridge and you're ready to cross it, and you cross it every single day because you built this bridge to your better life, your better self. And someone is just like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I have to build a bridge. Oh, that's so much work. I have to build a bridge to my better self. What do you mean? I already have. I'm already my better self. And that's like the weird toxic energy of this person. It's like they're trying to get all of the good from something without actually doing any of the work to get to that good part. And part of that is a lot of uprooting a lot of toxic things. It's why these cards kind of want to be crossed here. You looked at your life and said, oh, those 8 of Cups only check 8 out of 10 of my boxes. Well, I need 10 out of my 10 boxes checked in my life in order to move forward. And if part of that extra 2 boxes to get to that those 10 boxes being checked, if that's uprooting things that you necessarily didn't think that you could uproot these things in your life and create new room and new structure for yourself and break free from a lot of things that I feel like you knew were holding you back, but it was such a minor holdback that it didn't really mind. Like you didn't really mind at the time, but I feel like there was things of the past that you're like, nope, okay, this is something I gotta let go, or this is something I gotta give up. I gotta sacrifice. I gotta actually move in a way that's going to benefit the things I want to bring in. You broke free out of that. And someone's sitting here being like, well, if I just constantly do things how I've always been doing them, it will be fine because it's always worked out for me in the past. So, of course, it's going to work now. Kind of like oh, well, I'm on a winning streak. So, if I constantly keep doing this thing, if I keep betting and taking risks, then I'm going to actually, like, still see. Oh, I got some, like, incense ash on my card there on accident. Uh, they feel like they're still going to keep getting success based off of the quote unquote success that they have gotten from the past. But the thing is, if they're constantly focused on the past, they're not going to build a better future or build a better self or a better structure for the future. And it's something that I feel like is very key to what their hermit journey is trying to show them. And I feel like if you've been seeing someone act weird, act different, not really sure how to act in front of you, um, it's because they're trying to act like you without any of the work that you have done. They're still trying to do this work that isn't necessarily for them and be like, oh, I'm this great Queen of Swords, I've done this, I've done that, but they like, it's like they have nothing to show of it. And you're sitting here like, well, if you want to ask me about my direction, I'll tell you, but I'm actually busy working right now. So I will have time when I tell you I have time, kind of a energy. This is very interesting. And I feel like you have sacrificed things that you weren't expecting to sacrifice here because you knew how you had to move forward here. The Chariot, Queen of Swords and the Chariot. The Temperance. Okay, that's the last card. So I was like, I feel like we need one more card after that. Queen of Swords, the Chariot, Temperance card. You have seen how much these small little sacrifices that you've made and small shifts that you've made, not just sacrifices, it's like you shifted into a newer perspective of something. And I feel like this is where it became very clear of like, okay, no, this is going to keep me in balance. This is going to keep me in check. And it's not like you're carrying this weight and this load of responsibility always, or this, what this other person is doing is constantly starting things and not finishing things. Or it's like someone wanted to get into something because they thought how beneficial it would be for their very, I want to say, like they would like, this is a very simple example. I feel take this as it resonates. I guess I'm forgetting the word. It may be notoriety, but I'm also getting the simple like Gen Z way of explaining it is like, oh, they see something that they can do in their regular life that could help build their clout of social media, but it's not even just that. It's like getting their name out there, that getting more praise on something in the sense of like, oh, if they do this thing and they get into this thing, it could give them a boost in something else and like success in something else that they want to do. But the thing is, if they're not constantly focused on the responsibilities of a certain, I want to say, job, even because they're too focused on the praise that they want to get, then they're going to have a hard time really carrying this weight, carrying this load. When you're someone that's like, no, if I'm going to shift gears and do this thing, I'm going to bear the full weight of responsibility because that's what you do. That's the job at hand that you're being asked to do. And it's like, easiest way I can explain it is I always talk about me and my dance stuff. It's just easy metaphors. I understand the responsibility of training every day, and it has been a goal of mine to set that up, but I actually had to get right with myself and understand myself and really what was blocking me internally, and done a bunch of different little habits that was blocking me internally that have helped me actually create a structure around a training routine almost every day. And there's like one rest day, but that rest day is kind of for just like performing, because most of it is a lot of mobility training for all the dancing stuff. And I am bearing the weight of that responsibility because I want to be a good dancer. That's where I want to go. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like you want to get into something maybe you've already been into, or just understand that, like, I'm entering this field, I'm entering this career. I have to bear the full responsibility of it. It's almost like even graduating from college. And I want to say this relates to a lot of just medical students and med students. For people who want to get into nursing or actually be a doctor, or maybe even just get into the research field of medicine and stuff like that, right out of college, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to bear the responsibility of getting into this job. And it may not be this exact job, but I have to bear that responsibility of it. You're ready. You understand that this work, when you actually understand the responsibility and the weight of the responsibility, you are able to see where, oh, okay, this weight is temporary. It's not something I'm meant to hold forever, because it's also going to get easier the more that I do it. And I see that also in the reference of me and my dance training. Um, if that resonates for you, in a way of like, the more I train, the easier certain dances and certain things are going to be for me, and I'll be able to do more with my dancing. And I feel like that can be taken in the sense of like the muscle of your brain, the knowledge that you have and the knowledge that you're gaining. You know that this time is not necessarily just very crucial, but the way you've been directing your energy, and you are currently directing your energy, and that you will direct your energy in the future, is so vastly different from someone else. Because I feel like this is where you are soaring, flying in this chariot. And people are like, how are you able to maintain all of this control? And it's like, because I worked for it, and I leveled with myself and had a really long talk of like, if this is what I want to do, this is how we're going to have to do it. I feel like the dance training is a good reference for me to like go back to. It's just an easy example, because it's not just exercise and mobility training and doing specific like core workouts, because obviously your core is very important for dance. It's the diet that's involved. And especially me being a female, I have to take into account all the different cycles of my body, and how I'm gonna probably need to eat different foods at different times, and have like this actual, I want to say, maintaining of the whole responsibility of being a dancer. Because at that point, I'm basically training to be an athlete, and that's something entirely different. But when it comes down to the actual like meat and potatoes of something, you are willing to create the balance in the way that you know you need to create the balance, not in the way that you want to create the balance. I feel, oh, excuse me. I feel like someone is trying to constantly like create the balance in a way they want to, and that is like just fulfilling all of these little gratifications about themselves, but it's also making them sort of not necessarily fall on their face. But when this temperance card, it's like they're constantly having to refill their energy. And I feel like this is a Queen of Swords energy that is like constantly running on burnout, and they think that's normal. They think that's just how you do things, because, oh well, I'm burnt out, I gotta go recharge again. But you know that when you give yourself that time to not run until empty, you run until like you're about a quarter tank, like you got a little bit under a quarter tank left in the gas tank. You're like, okay, time to be smart about this, take a break, let's refill. And you don't even fill up all the way full. Sometimes you can fill up until you have enough energy to do what you know you need to do, because that, like, here's empty, right? I guess I'll do it this way. So, like, here's the fuel gauge going down. Right about here is when you want to refill your energy. Like, this is how you know you're like, okay, no, I need to refill my energy. If I try to push myself, we're going to be empty. You're smart about it, and you're like, okay, let's refill to here, because maybe I don't need all of the energy of a full tank of gas, kind of metaphor. You're like, okay, yeah, this is all the energy I need because there's only 24 hours in a day. So I feel like you're using your time very, very wisely here, to where it's like, okay, if you know you need a quarter tank of energy, you're gonna still fill to maybe like half a tank or 3/4, and you're like, okay, well, I'll use that quarter here, use that other quarter here, and oh, okay, we're down to our last quarter, let's be smart about this. And if you need to maybe even like not really run until empty, but if you need to use a little bit more of those reserves of energy, that's when you're like, okay, you're very disciplined about it, you're very careful with it and very conscious about your energy here. And that's like an energy on a physical level. And I feel like someone's constantly having to refill their energy tanks, because they're constantly running on burnout. And the fact that they have to constantly refill this is where they have to stop and start again. Stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. And that adds so much more weight to the situation, that I feel like this is possibly why a certain person is just acting very odd and very different. Because you may know this person IRL, or you may have known this person in the past, and it could be a person of the past that you've dealt with them, and now you're just seeing them like, oh, hey, now they're acting very weird. Why are they acting like this? Will they ever be able to like move forward in like something that's good for them? But I feel like this is where you're coming to a full like collective understanding of how this person will never truly understand unless they're willing to listen. Because I feel like with Four of Wands coming out here, you are finding the true structure to your happiness and how you want to build your life. When it comes to the Four of Wands and building this structure, you truly see it as like, hey, I need to build this in a way that's going to be a solid foundation for the rest of my life, for the rest of my career, per se. How you choose to do something, how you choose to keep your own balance. And I feel like someone's trying to make this energy of burnout normal. And this could be like, in my opinion, a lot of corporate lifestyle, a lot of white collar work will essentially be this, there would be this normalcy of always working, always working, always working, always working. You have to continue to work in order to be, I want to say, like, true to your work. And also, like, oh, you're only a good worker with how much, like, burnout you have. Oh, this person's constantly burnt out, that means they're a good worker. When in reality, there are a lot of companies out there that know that's not true, and that's not how the human body works. It's not how it functions. Like, genuine science on like biology and physiology can tell you that, especially even just nutritionists, like in a simplest form. um Ooh, King of Cups. Ooh. I feel like if someone's gonna actually say, no, you're the crazy one, the collective's the crazy one, they're gonna be in for a nasty surprise. And I say that very lightly, because the King of Cups reversed is a very emotionally manipulative energy. And the fact that I'm getting all of this just very manipulative energy to start out with the Tower card, I feel like they have received constant wake up call after wake up call after wake up call. And there's only so much time that you can run on burnout. Hello, ma'am. Hold on, there's a loaf that would like to sit up on my lap, so give me 1 second. Oh no. I rolled on my sweatshirt. It's really my boyfriend's, but anyway. Come here, ma'am. Oh, so cute. She's so cute when she does that. Do you see yourself on the screen right there, ma'am? Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's you right there. Sorry, I have to scoot in, ma'am. You feel like that this person, whatever kind of beliefs that they have, energetically, the way that they've been sort of thinking about you has been sending energy your way. And I feel like this is where this reading is kind of coming up with this energy of the fact that, like, you understand that the fact that someone could be thinking negatively of you is sort of negative energy being sent your way. And the fact that you feel like that, it's almost like I feel like you feel like in the air that this person's days are numbered when it comes to being able to run on this type of energy, because it's going to be the people closest to them that are going to call them out on their bullshit. And it's going to suck for them in the sense of like, so it's going to suck for those friends around them, because I feel like they are starting to see the cracks in the foundation. They're starting to see how this person is constantly being drained emotionally, and it's not by anyone else but their own hand. They're not willing to sit here and be honest about what makes them truly, truly happy. They're going to constantly sit here and pour their energy into things that don't matter, and they'll be getting that wake up call sooner rather than later. And I feel like this is where we're going to pull from a different deck. Let me see. You're sitting here minding your damn business, Queen of Cups. You're sitting there being like, oh, that's emotional maturity for them? Well, that sucks to suck kind of energy. It's very funny to have here, not gonna lie. I'm gonna leave that that deck there. I really want to see what other stuff kind of comes out for you and just these people, and any sort of advice, anything else that the collective needs to know here. I feel like you are genuinely, actually we'll do this because I see this as a bottom of the deck energy. We'll keep that there. Or is there something more? Time will tell. Time will tell with everyone. Because I know you know this with yourself, because you gave yourself time to center around, I can't control how long this is going to take, how long something's going to take to be made, to create, to manifest. But you're trusting in the fact that whenever this time comes, this time comes. And I feel like someone's trying to fight against time here as well. And they're trying to make you out as like someone you're not. And I feel like this has been an energy for a while, because I feel like this is happening not just on a personal level scale. I feel like if anyone is very aware of what's going on in the world right now, there's a lot of toxic behavior towards groups of people, and other people saying, oh, well, you're actually the evil one, when the people they're pointing fingers at saying, oh, you're the bully, are actually the people who are oppressed and victims of things. And take that as you will, but I think this is why we've been seeing this energy a lot in a lot of different readers on the YouTube tarot space, or any sort of tarot space that you watch tarot readings on, because this is happening on a grander scale. But time will tell, because time is showing the mother cracks in this foundation here. The way that this constant emotional manipulation is, like, things aren't happening fast enough for them, so they're constantly trying to, you know, do things that will get them this notoriety and success and praise. But the fact that they're trying to do it so quickly, it's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back type of a thing. And then it's gonna be a cry wolf from there. But we know it with anything that has cried wolf that, hey, even the wolves are pissed that you're crying wolf. They're not even gonna like eat you. They're just gonna like, it's like a wolf returning the boy who cries wolf, returning them back home, being like, get them to shut the up because this is annoying and I'm tired of being blamed for this person's crying right here when we haven't really done anything except just exist. And right when the wolf comes out is when they're just like gonna be terrified, but then they're gonna realize, oh no, this isn't my judgment day of like not being on this earth anymore. This is my judgment day of the whole world will judge you, the whole world or the whole community, the whole world of someone, which someone's whole world is something very small and minuscule, and your whole world is like an oyster to you. And I feel like that, saying that in general, holy shit. I didn't even see it until I looked up at the screen. You are this upright King of Wands, but also someone's King of Wands, or someone who is a King of Wands in this other aspect, is very manipulative in how they use their power. Because their whole world is so small and so tiny that they want this one thing to work out, and they're constantly ignoring everything else that is essentially like successfully working out for them. Because I feel like whether it is on that grand world, larger world scale of what we were talking about, I feel like if this is just a personal like thing, like someone you know, you are seeing them care so much about success in one particular thing, they are forgetting every single thing else that they are actually really good at and really successful at and would be very happy with moving forward, but because they don't have instant success and instant gratification and they have to work for that, well, they're just not cut out. Oh, well, I can't do that because I can't do it because I can't do it, kind of a thing, when they're not even like trying here. I feel like someone does have a lot of options of like really good fulfilling stuff, but they're like, nope, I'm not going to do that because it's not getting me instant success, it's not getting me instant praise, notoriety, gratification. Because I feel like somebody genuinely wants to make money overnight, and that's just not how the world works. The only way anyone makes money overnight is they work 40 hours or 30, maybe even 20 hours in a week. And then payday is that overnight payment because they worked for it, you know? It doesn't even matter how many hours you worked for it in a whole week. And the overnight payment is your paycheck at the end of the week or the beginning or whenever you get paid. And I feel like someone's just like, well, why can't I just make money like right now? Ten of Swords. Why can't I just make money right now? And your enlightenment has been this whole like, well, you gotta work for it. No matter if it's just getting money or getting success in something. Like, I feel like a lot of this is like work and knowledge. Like when we go back to that college reference and graduating college to get a job, it's like one person is just wanting to get a job instantly. I'm gonna get a job as a doctor. I'm gonna be a doctor fresh out of college. And you're like, I don't think that's actually accurate. Like, there's a lot of work and process and like, I want to say, I don't remember what it's called, but like for med students that genuinely want to become a doctor, like there are, you could say, initiations for that. There's a process to learn what it's actually like to work in a hospital as a doctor, all the different things that you could see that aren't just in the book. That, yes, in college they probably go through like, oh, screening processes. It's like a whole extra sort of screening process of like, hey, is this person like cut out for this kind of line of work here? And I feel like someone's just like, oh, well, I'm going to be a doctor right out the gate. And they're like, what do you mean I have to go through a screening process? What do you mean there's an initiation for this? What do you mean there's extra work? I thought I was just going to be a doctor. I thought I was just going to be a doctor right out of school. That's not how this works. That is definitely not how this works. Someone's abusing their power here. But they're going to find that's going to come back on them. Because I even think someone, like, if this isn't having to be a doctor, this could be, like, someone calling themselves a shaman. There's a lot of fake shamans out there. No one's really asked me about it, but I talk about the fact that I don't consider myself an oracle, like, at all. This whole name that I have for the channel is much bigger than just my tarot page, because the whole Cosmic Eye Oracle is kind of like the universe as I see it. So it's not something I really talk about because I feel like no one's really brought it up or asked me about it, but I don't really think of myself as a shaman, I want to say, yet, because I feel like that is something that takes years, years and years and years, and I wouldn't be able to be ready to take on that name and that role as people seeing me as a shaman and calling me that randomly until I am above the age of 40. I'm 26 right now. There's so much that I genuinely want to learn in my practice and so much I want to pursue in my practice, and I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, someone's trying to be out here and be like, well, I'm a shaman because I have this, this, and that, or I'm a tarot reader because I know this, this, and that. And um, it's almost like they're saying all these things, but then they're like, hold on, I gotta go look back at my spiritual dictionary, or I gotta go back and like check my notes, when their notes are just like, hey Google, what is this thing? And Google is gonna tell you a very multitude of answers, because there's now the Google AI thing speaking back to us, which is just, I always find that annoying whenever I talk about the origin of tarot and like where it originated from, because also that's a fun fact. We don't really know where it originated from. There's tons of things that we could say that it originated from, but a lot of the crusades and a lot of different things of like the burning down of the Library of Alexandria basically cut off those things to be like, hey, we don't know now because there's so much history that has been erased, and a lot of history that hasn't been necessarily written down. It was just traditionally like stories that were told and passed down through generations. So there's so much mystery around tarot, but there is a Google search where if you ask Google where did tarot originate from, it's going to tell you the 1400s in Paris and Italy, and or in France and Italy, same thing. And that's not entirely accurate because that's essentially directly after the Crusades. And we can see that these images, that tarot was a playing game and it had all of the major arcana. The major arcana were trump cards. And that came before the Crusades, and that people were playing this as a playing card game before the Crusades. And then somehow it's being used for divination in France and Italy in the 1400s. And it's not going to give you the proper answer. Someone's just like, oh, like if we're going to go back to the doctor reference, it's like they want to be a doctor, but then anytime someone tells them a symptom, they're just like, WebMD, what is this? Google, what is this? And they're not really getting that actual like knowledge from their own brain, from the things that they've studied and things that they've known. And it's so funny. We have Queen of Swords out here twice. Twice. Someone is very like unsure about the direction they're going because they want to focus on like, I'm enlightened, I'm knowledgeable, I'm gaining all of this information, when all of the information's down here in the books per se, and inexperience as well, or inexperienced like person. But they learn, like, you can learn a lot of knowledge through experience and being just experiencing things. Like all of the experiences down here, and they're just looking up the stars, being in awe, and like saying that they're using their knowledge and their energy and their power for all of this, that, and the other. When in reality, it's so false and not accurate. They want to basically have all of the fancy bedazzled things without actually, it's almost like they want to have all these fancy bedazzled things and tell people, oh yeah, those are real like rocks, real diamonds, and real gold, when it's all just fake BS. It's all just fake stuff. And they're sitting here being like, oh no, it's real, it's real. Like, it's real because I did this, and that's how I know it's real. And then this person told me it was real, so it's got to be. And the internet told me it was real, so it must be real. You ain't moving like that. You're just like, okay, well, all that talk is going on. I'm gonna move forward in the direction that I genuinely want to move forward in. I also feel like this is a double meaning of like someone wanting to come and attack your way of doing things. Like, oh, you don't know what you're experiencing. You don't know all the different things of how to do something, or like it's almost like saying you're not walking your talk when that's all that you've been doing. You've been so busy not focused on this that you've just been like, okay, yeah, I got stuff to work on. And this person's just like, oh, see, I'm so much better than them because they're doing it like this, which is just reflection and projection of them, of like saying that you're doing the things that they're actually doing, which is thinking that burnout is normal. This Knight of Swords is like this weird attacking energy, and it could just be the fact that you are feeling these sort of negative energy things of someone. You're feeling the fact that, like, there is someone and people thinking negatively on you and believing in this person, and the fact that they'll go and check up on you and look at you and be like, oh, wait, uh, this may not be entirely accurate. But no, this person may be right, because there's a lot of like false sense of security and people codependent on someone's energy here, not yours, this other person's. They're so codependent that they have to and they must agree with them because they want them and want to take advantage of their energy. And that's probably why this person is super burnt out. They probably don't have a good support system around them, and the only good support system that they have is the people that have justified their behavior and just said, oh, it's okay, no, you were in the right for being super crappy and shitty towards that one person. You were in the right, you know, that person shouldn't have called out and like asked you to basically take accountability for something that you did wrong. Like, they shouldn't have done that, kind of a thing. Like a false sense of like, even a false sense of solitude. I feel like someone saying they did a lot of stuff on their own when they've had so much help, and like it's not even like they've had help up this ladder of life. They were literally piggybacked up this ladder of life. And whether you had a helping hand or not, it was because people genuinely wanted to help you. People genuinely wanted to give you this energy of helping you. And I'm gonna light one more thing of incense. um I think we're gonna do two things of incense because this energy is wackadoodle. This energy is wacky. Oh, wait, let me use this to... It is wackadoodle time. I don't know why I'm thinking of that right now, but there is a TikTok sound I used like a little while ago where it just goes, it's wackadoodle time. It's whack-a-doodle time. And that's just why I said that, so no other reason other than that. This is crazy, crazy energy here. And I feel like it's something... Oh. I feel like it's something you know you've been feeling for a while, and you're just like, what is happening with this energy? What the fuck's going on? And you feel like are priding yourself a little bit on the inside, but it's not a false sense of pride. It's like you are proud of the work that you've been able to do for yourself. You are proud of the work that you're able to commit to because you've done it all yourself. And it's not like a, see, world, I've done it all myself. You're like just proud of yourself. Like, damn, me, I did all that. I created all that. I manifested all that. Hell yeah. I feel like some of you forgot about the things that you have manifested, and you're about to see those things come to fruition soon. Like, all of this is Work, 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 work. Oh wait, I manifested something. Oh, I did, because now it's coming in and now I'm seeing it, and you're even feeling it too. Because I feel like if you're committed to something, you're gonna be even more committed and feel good that you are constantly and consistently committing towards your work and your efforts and your life's work is what I'm hearing. Um, the Tower card out here twice. I feel like the world and the universe is ready to explode this whole level of lies, deceit, BS, bullshit, and even show you how good of a manifester you are, if that's even a word. There's something about this tower that's just like bursting with opportunity, bursting with fulfillment, bursting with success, and that is going to be for the people who genuinely have put in the fucking work. And this is really insane energy too, because I feel like you haven't even been noticing the energy you've been doing. You've had such powerful energy this whole time. Like, this Knight of Swords card is like, you've been so confident and passionate about the direction that you've been going that I feel like you haven't even noticed what you've been creating metaphysically behind the scenes, the energy that you've been actually committing to. And another thing with the Queen of Wands is that if they are seeing you succeed and seeing you work your hardest on things, they cannot wrap their head around any sort of insult or justification for an insult for you. It's almost just like they go back on sort of fake insults of things. And the fact that we had the King and Queen of Cups come out, and then the King and Queen of Wands come out, and the King of Wands technically coming out a second time, this is insane. The Queen of Swords coming out twice as well, and the Tower coming out twice. This person can't even muster up any courage to insult you over something because it wouldn't make sense with how you're acting and how you're moving and how you are, like, literally walking your talk. And you're continuing to be like talking about new ideas and even talking about the effort and the work that you would have to put in for that, because it's something that you are highly aware of, the fact that it's not just something that you manifest and it comes out of thin air. You open your life up to opportunities when you put in the work. It's the easiest explanation for manifestation is that you order something online and you're not sitting there waiting for it. You're moving about your day like normal and still working hard to be like, okay, if I want to be good at something, I have to study, or I have to make a routine, and I have to make sure like this is in check, or I have to make sure the dishes are done, the laundry is done, like simple things even like that. And even constantly making sure you have enough energy, have enough water for the day. And speaking of water, cheers, there's water in this cup. I feel like you feel this energy more than ever now, and it's truly interesting because I want to see. Let's get 3 cards out from one other tarot deck just to see what else comes out here. You have 3 of Cups. Your spirit team and your past and your future self, I feel like past, present, and future, and just your spirit team in general, is so happy and proud of the work that you've committed to yourself. No way! Knight of Swords was on the top of the deck there. Hold on. I feel like that's somewhat relevant as the Hierophant underneath here. But I want to take this as like, you were the student that came to the teacher and said, just teach me everything. I want to learn about the truth of everything about this thing, about my life's work, and about myself. And you committed to this to the point where you didn't even realize how appreciative your spirit team, your ancestors, your guides, whoever you work with, whoever you believe in, even actual teachers, I'm hearing, actual mentors, they are so proud of the work that you've put in. They may have not like fully expressed like how proud they have been to watch you grow in this area, but I feel like your direction is clearer than ever. Knight of Swords out here again. Your direction is clearer than ever, and you are ready to move forward in something super, super abundant for you. Ooh. Ace of Swords kind of coming out. with the Five of Pentacles as well. You are ready to move beyond so many hurtful things here. And it's through genuine action on, we can have ideas for something, but if we don't have the courage to grab this Ace of Swords of ideas and intellect out of the ground and routine and structure and discipline, if we don't have the actual courage to pick up that sword out of the ground, we won't ever have the courage at all to pursue anything that we do. So you've been breaking free from a lot of things that not necessarily have been lacking in your life, but like whether it's breaking through a lot of generational trauma, generational, not curses, but like patterns and habits. Because I don't necessarily think that there could be a generational curse that you're breaking through. It could be a creature of habit type, like family dynamic or structure or way of doing things that you are breaking free from. You're seeing how to break free from every little thing that has been said about you and about the situation, about your method of doing something. That Eight of Swords right there on the bottom of the deck is like every little sword is something that you are taking out, you're acknowledging this, and you're cutting through every little chain that binds. That devil that came out in the beginning is you breaking through that and breaking through even more than you thought that you could have. Because somebody is really out here really wanting to, Queen of Wands, really wanting to express like, you can't do that, you can't do this. Oh no, collective just did that. Oh wait, they're just so full of themselves. They must have had help. That's not real. That's fake or whatever. And it's like you prove that it's real, and then they just have nothing to say. And I feel like the little followers of this person, whether they are like just friends or people that like look up to this behavior and look up to people who act like this, like they're just not saying anything to them. Because I feel like there was like a little group that this person would like talk to and be like, oh, collective's this, collective's that. They'd say all the things, and right when you're actually succeeding, they just roll their eyes and don't say a word, when in reality that shows the kind of person they are and the kind of person that they are acting to be, because they know that you're good at something. They know exactly what you're good at here. And I feel like this is where we're going to get into the end reading here. Whether you consider yourself a shaman or not, you are very, very highly intellectual and intuitive. Whether you work with a lot of mundane things like being a doctor, just a layman's terms example, doesn't have to be a doctor, but just like that normal 9 to 5 kind of stuff, not the woo-woo spiritual stuff. You understand there's a whole ocean of information regardless of how much you learn. Whether you are a student learning to become a teacher, you are a teacher that still treats your mind like a student. Like there's an ocean of information out there. And I feel like it's so intuitive and instinctive to your own nature that you don't even notice that you're doing it. You don't even notice that you're doing it. But it's time to look deep inside yourself and see the you for who you truly are. Someone who is super, super strong and successful and still humble at the end of the day. Still able to even show people how to appreciate being humble and show them that being humble isn't just like just to gain praise. It's because it helps you feel very, I want to say, cool, calm, and collected within your soul. I want to say cool within your soul, but it's the cooling uh, it's the cooling energy that cools this level of like just heat of arrogance that I feel like some people don't know how to cool that part of them down, because I feel like some people can really learn how to be humble, which is funny that I'm thinking of Gordon Ramsay when I say this. Like, people have watched Kitchen Nightmares tons and tons of times, and you see how Gordon is able to transform these people and not just the chefs that are working there, but the owners, the servers, and even the families of the family run restaurants, the way that he's able to really turn things around. And you even see a little bit of the follow up of like, I'm really glad Gordon actually like kicked me in the butt here and showed me how to truly be like humble about this. Because there was an episode I watched recently where there was this super arrogant chef who had a really lucky start of getting something when he was getting a restaurant of his own at 25 years old, and that's insanely lucky when you're fresh out of culinary school kind of deal. And the fact that he was able to do that, but he was arrogant with it, Gordon Ramsay was like, dude, you have to humble yourself a bit and be humble about this. Like, you have to appreciate that you got lucky, and the fact that you can sit here and say that you have a family run business and that you can keep this in your life, keep this in your legacy, is something to be proud of because it's something you work for. You don't do it for anyone else. You don't do it for the money that comes into the restaurant, the success that you gain from being a five, or I don't know, not 5-star chef, but basically like 5-star chef, fancy, no, well-known chef, all the popularity. Like, you don't do it for those reasons. You do it because you love what you do, because it's something that is true to your core. It's true to the core person you want to be on the inside. And no one will understand that if they're going to constantly go through these quick gratification, quick satisfying things. They want things overnight. If they constantly go in that energy and move forward with that energy, they're not going to find anything of what they're looking for. They're not going to find success. They're going to find everything but that. Delays, setbacks, things holding them back, themselves holding them back. And I think you needed a lot of this confirmation to tell you, you are the humble one here. You've worked for this. You didn't just do it because you wanted success. You constantly kept going and kept doing this because you truly, actually, and actively are gaining success in the sense of being prideful and proud of yourself. I was going to say proud and prideful at the same time, almost. You're being prideful of your work and the work that you put in, regardless of what comes after it. You're just like creating a painting and just happy with the result. Even if someone else was like, oh, that looks ugly, you're like, well, okay, sure. I don't care if you think it's ugly. I really enjoy this. I really like it. And I'm really proud of it because I put in this work and it was actually pretty tough for me and took a lot of effort and took a lot of time because something you did was not easy. Something you did was not like carefree. Like, it took a lot of work and a lot of energy out of you and a lot of soul searching, a lot of seeking this internal, not necessarily internal validation of like false validation, internal validation of what do I need to do? And that was the validation of it. Someone is looking for internal validation in the, well, no, what I'm working on burnout and doing all of this short-term success is like the way to live, right? Like, they're just trying to find validation for all of the wrong things. And you said, I just want to be validated in what I need to do, because you wanted to be very carefully sure about where you were going and the direction you were going. And I'm very, very proud of you, and I want you to keep going along this path because it's been benefiting you this whole time, and I know you've been feeling it. Now it's time to see the efforts of your work and the results of the work that you've put in. I'm very proud of you. Thank you for letting me read your cards. That is all I have for you. If you do want a reading anywhere else other than YouTube, please check out all of the links down in the description below. I do offer one-on-one readings, but if you want a sort of recorded reading where I sit like this, like in the YouTube video, I can send you this as well for a similar price to how my one-on-one readings are priced. It may be a bit cheaper, but thank you for letting me read your cards. That is all I have for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!